Hey folks, so recently on a trek, I got into a bit of an argument with a nice elderly gentleman who had quite a few things to say about the junior doctor strikes. This is how it went. Why are you junior doctors going on a strike? Aren't you guys earning enough for being a trainee? Well, you know that our pay has gone down 28% in the last decade, right? We're not doing 28% less work than our colleagues from 2008. But it's only a matter of time before you become a consultant, right? Then you'll be earning like 100K or something. Well, it's not exactly a short journey. Most specialties need 7 to 9 years of training after 2 years of foundation training, which itself comes after at least 5 years of medical school training. It's not a very short journey. Well, why not become a GP then? Shorter training and a good salary. That's true, but the duration of training and the pay offered during training shouldn't dictate my specialty choice. I'll just move to Australia or Canada then. I heard they pay handsomely. Well, thank you. That's exactly what I'm talking about. If doctors don't get a fair pay here, they'll go to other countries that pay them well for their skills. What will you do when you have an emergency and you need to go and see a doctor, but all of them have emigrated? Well, there's always physician assistants, no? At this point, it's clear that there's a lot of misunderstandings around the junior doctor strikes in England. Strikes like these are quite rare in NHS 75-year history, but a huge number of junior doctors, 98% of them, have voted to strike. What's driving this? Let's dive in. Hey there, lovely person watching YouTube. If you're new here, hi, my name is Ajay. I'm a doctor working in London. If you're already subscribed, welcome back. I love you to the stars and back. Let me begin by clarifying that although I'm a junior doctor working in the NHS and a member of the BMA, British Medical Association, which is the union that has called for the strike, I'm not an official representative of the BMA. What I am sharing are facts blended with my personal perspective. Just a doctor, not a BMA spokesperson. Although that would be a cool gig. Now first let's understand who a junior doctor is. This term encompasses everyone who's finished medical school but is not yet a consultant. Regardless of whether you are 25 years old or 50 years old, whether you're in training or not, as long as you're not a specialist or a consultant, you're considered a junior doctor. So this pay issue doesn't just affect newly graduated doctors, it impacts a large section of the medical community. Over the past decade, junior doctors have experienced the worst real-term pay cuts of any profession in the UK, a whopping 28%. Meanwhile, medical school fees and therefore student debt has skyrocketed, with some graduates coming out of medical school with up to £100,000 in debt. And also remember that medical school courses are significantly longer than most other professional courses. Typically it stretches for 5+ years. Now imagine going through a rigorous application process, going through 5 years of grueling medical school training, having £100,000 in debt to start your career with £14 an hour. Post tax and student loan deduction, you're taking home £8 an hour. How's that for a reality check? For perspective, your friendly barista at Pret pulls in slightly more than £14 an hour. What we junior doctors are requesting is a fair wage that truly reflects our skill set. We are calling for a 35% pay raise, which may sound steep, but it barely negates the 28% pay cut we've endured. For anyone still trying to wrap their heads around it, a 28% increase of our pay brings our pay up to 92.16% of the 2008 pay. However, an increase of 35% brings it up to 97% of 2008 pay. As you can see, it's still like 2 something or up to 3% less than 2008 pay, but we're happy to make that sacrifice. And now a common counter argument is that the coffers are empty, that there's not enough money to pay junior doctors more. Yet, the government is planning to triple the number of physician assistants in the coming years. Now, physician assistants are medical staff who have not been to medical school. They do a biology or related undergraduate degree, and then they do a 2-year PA training that is paid for by the government. So no fees, no student debt, and you also get a stipend/salary so you can support yourself during those training. And then once you graduate, you work fewer hours than doctors. You barely have any night shifts, if at all. You're not properly regulated. Your liability is very less, if any, at all. You can't order medications or tests that even the most junior doctors can order. And despite all this, they are paid £10,000 more than doctors. Now listen, after 5 years of being a doctor, spending thousands of pounds on courses, on conferences, on exams, which I've had to do to keep my professional things up to date, my knowledge up to date, and it's just bewildering to be possibly the first person, the first surgeon you see if you come to a hospital with appendicitis, and probably the person to do your appendicitis surgery with a senior colleague, that I am valued less than a physician assistant who did 2 years of training after an undergraduate degree. Now, this is a job posting for a job like mine, and this is a job posting for a PA job. Does that make any sense to you? Our fight for a fair wage is not just about the pay, it's not about entitlement, it's about respect. It's about the government recognizing our dedication, our skill set, and the invaluable contributions we make to healthcare every single day. We took an oath to prioritize our patients' well-being, and that's precisely what we are doing by standing firm. If we don't fight this fight now, the future of medical staffing and healthcare workers in this country could be severely compromised. The Economist just yesterday posted an article in which they said, "This pay issue has turned geeky medics into fire-breathing unionists." We don't want to be on the picket lines. We don't want to be running around with some stupid banner. We'd rather be in our wards, our emergency departments, our operating theatres, and our general practices doing what we love doing. But sometimes you have to fight to protect what you love. We love the NHS and we love the people we serve, and that's why we are fighting today. And remember, the well-being of healthcare staff affects the well-being of everyone. With that said, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Take care. Or just move to Australia or Canada then.